Joining me now is the go-to authority on what's happening in Syria, Andrew Tabler. He briefed the staff of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee just today on the latest developments. He's the author of the book In the Lion's Den, an eyewitness account of Washington's battle with Assad's Syria. Andrew, welcome. Thanks for being here. Obviously, 6,000 dead is just horrific. Is this a tipping point, the fact that so many Syrians were killed in this 1 month? Will the U.S. or other countries now be forced to do something?
It's really difficult to tell. Certainly everybody realizes that the situation is spinning out of control. Syria is literally melting down as a state and as a country. The question is what to do. Until now, the U.S. has stayed on the sidelines largely, trying to shape the opposition, but it's increasingly difficult to look at Syria in the coming years as staying in one piece, and the human death toll, the refugee flows and so on are just going way beyond estimates, and now Washington's struggling to come up with a policy response that makes sense.
There are a lot of people who say, why would we get involved in Libya but not get involved in Syria? I've heard President Obama and the White House explain it. What's your perspective?
I think that there are several problems. The Syrian conflict is much more complicated than Libya. It also happens later in the Arab Spring. But in the end...
So less energy, less impetus to do something.
That's right, and it's something where there are a lot more factors at work. Geographically, it's in a different place. But there wouldn't be a more vital geographic area for the United States, I think, in the Middle East. It affects almost everything, most of our major allies, Turkey, Israel, Iraq, and Jordan. So the spillover from the conflict threatens those states. It threatens the regional security architecture as Syria descends into a failed state.
And what is President Obama's red line, do you think? He had said chemical weapons, and there was a report that turned out not to be accurate about chemical weapons. Is that still his red line?
Officially, he has a red line. Originally, it was use or movement. Then it just became use. And now it's unclear exactly where that red line is and what kind of substance it would be. He does still have this red line. He calls it a game changer if chemical weapons are used, but it would depend on what chemical agent, and we still are not clear on that from the White House.
And my last question is just a yes or no. Do you think this ends with Bashar al-Assad alive?
No.
All right. Andrew Tabler, thank you.